Welcome back, guys. My name is Jonathan Bodner. Thank you for tuning in on the second half of this show. Again, we're cutting the show a little bit short today. I got a speaking engagement right after this show, so thank you for just indulging me and watching and hanging out with me. I absolutely love just getting to add as much value to your life as possible. We can always dig into marketing materials and business materials and how to do paid ads and answer questions about the project or the businesses, and especially the first business that we're building, churchappnow.com. There's kind of a core fundamental piece of business that I wanted to touch on today, and we're going to really dig deeper tomorrow on the lab with Joel Scrivener, which will be a much longer show, and we'll have a whole lot of fun hanging out and digging very deep and breaking down the concept of purpose and direction. Now, you can apply this to business, you can apply it to life, you can apply it to literally just about anything you're doing right now in your life, whether you're a manager, whether you own your own business, whether you're just sitting there across this camera and you're saying, I am doing all these things, like I'm working 9 to 5, I have a family, I'm doing all this, but I really don't feel fulfilled in life. Like I just don't feel like my life is bringing a lot of joy to myself and to others. And I want to figure out, what's my direction? Where am I going? What do I really want to do? Because, we talk a lot about like the purpose of hustle being able to leave your 9 to 5 and have all this freedom of mental capacity and freedom to spend time with your family and freedom to solve big problems. But we really haven't ever focused on the fact that it's like, okay, but what do I do? Like, what does that freedom actually look like? Like, how does freedom equate to, me going and solving a big problem or making more money or starting a new company or, all of that? And really what that comes down to is purpose and direction. And I know it might sound cheesy, but I'm about to break it down just a little bit for you. And we'll dig into purpose, what purpose is, why purpose even matters in business and life, and how to find your purpose and direction. And I know that, again, it might sound like a bit of a cheesy concept or a cheesy thing to go through, but the reality is without purpose, nothing can be successful, right? Without purpose, you don't go through the moments that disappoint you. Without purpose, you don't go through the hard moments. You don't think that like Apple had moments where the company almost shut down multiple times. You've heard my personal story. You've heard my story multiple times about building my company, Churchbase, building my company, the app builder and everything, and getting it to a sale. But it took these two huge moments of failure and just destruction in the business where the business should have shut down multiple times. But you know what kept me going is purpose. And so let's dive into that. So purpose and direction, what is that, right? So purpose is the common thread that ties all of your success to get together. So it's the thing across all of, think about right now, like close your eyes and think about the best things you've done in life, right? And, if you're thinking about 2 or 3 different things, then there's a common thread in there, and that's purpose. And so we're going to break that down. We're going to think about and break down, well, what is my purpose and why does it matter? So let's start with what purpose is. Purpose is not what you do, it's how you do, right? So purpose isn't, oh, I'm a manufacturer, or I'm a marketer, or I'm a graphic designer, right? That's really what it is that you're doing with your purpose, right? Purpose is how you do those things. A great example is the fact that I've done very different things in my life, but they've all had a common thread inside of them. And they've all, I'm trying to think of the best possible way to explain this, but this is a very big concept if you think about it. But I've done a lot of different things in my life, right? And but every single thing I've done it the exact same way. I've always attached donations. I've always attached impact. I've always attached charity if you're watching this, you're probably a loyal part of our community already, and you've seen the charity that we've already given away inside the community. But you've also heard me talk about the charity that we do on Apollo and that we've done in other businesses. That's one of my biggest purposes is impact, right? I want to help people. My purpose personally is to help people go from point A to point C using B. And that sounds like, wait a minute, what does that even mean? I want to help people in anything that I do, and anyone that I'm helping. I want to help them go somewhere using something. And so that might sound like, whoa, that's so ethereal, that's crazy, that's so out there, whatever. That's not practical, but it's so practical. Think about what I'm doing with Hustle. I'm helping you go from 9 to 5 to a place of freedom and impact, and I'm using business and Web 2. When I was doing Church Base, I was helping churches go from old, antiquated, terrible products and stuck in the 90s to a more modern way of raising money through apps and digital donations. And I use Church Base to get there, right? Impact is massive for me. So I want to help people who don't make a lot of money and aren't in a great place. I want to buy them back some of their freedom. And that's that point C. And I'm able to do that through giving and through impact. And so everything that I've ever done follows that same purpose. Everything I've ever done focuses on taking people from point A to point C using B. And that B will always change, right? So your purpose is always the exact same, but it always has different applications. So don't think about your purpose like you would think about your job, right? Like your purpose is not to be a graphic designer or a marketer or an architect, or your purpose is how you be an architect, how you are, the things that you do when you do those things. And so we're going to break that down a little bit more. So you might be saying, okay, purpose is such a big thing. Let's chop it down. How do I see purpose, right? Purpose is the intersection. It's typically the intersection between what you love and what you're best at, right? And that ends up being your purpose, right? Purpose is the things in your life that give you the absolute most fulfillment. What does fulfillment mean, right? Fulfillment is digging deep and understanding like, okay, I feel full, right? I mean, fulfillment. It's right there in the word. I feel full. I feel like my life means something. I feel like I mean something. And I know you might be asking, well, what does this have to do with business? Purpose has everything to do with business. And we'll talk about that in a second, actually. I'm getting way ahead of myself. So purpose is fulfillment. So if you think back in the times in your life when you felt fulfilled, you felt like, wow, at the end of the day, you got home, you were like, I'm happy. And just to be clear, purpose is not happiness, because you can be happy without purpose. But purpose is those moments when you get home and you lay there and you said, I did good and I'm happy with what I did. And we'll break that down exactly how to find your purpose in 2 simple steps, right? And how to really identify what it is that you're supposed to be doing in life. What's the direction you're supposed to be taking? So let's say you get one of these 5,000 businesses, you're making all this money, you've told your boss, F you, I'm out, toodaloo, I'm gone. And then what? Where do you go? What do you build? Because you need to be thinking about these things now, because it's not that far off, believe it or not. And not for a lot of people. And we'll talk about that tonight. So tune in on the Twitter space tonight. And only you guys got that Easter egg. But anyway, purpose is what makes you feel fulfillment in life. You can't have fulfillment in a large capacity without purpose, because purpose is, again, that intersection between what you absolutely love to do and what you're best at. And so we'll dig into how you identify and how you actually, a quick way to find what your purpose in life is. And again, we're going to really dig deep into this tomorrow with Joel Scrivener. We're going to dive deep in the lab, and we're going to talk about purpose, direction in life, in business, in family, in marriage, and all of these areas of your life to find balance in your purpose. But why should you find purpose? Why does purpose matter in business specifically? Purpose matters because you're more successful when you're doing what you love. You're absolutely more successful when you're doing what you love. Let me ask you this. Would you buy a painting from somebody that didn't love to paint? No, you wouldn't, because they would be explaining it, I just slapped some paint on there. It's not inspiring. It's not passionate. There's no incentive to purchase a painting by somebody that doesn't love to paint, right? And I know that's a simplified version, but think about it. When you have purpose, you are adding value. When you're building something with purpose, you're adding value. Purpose equals value in a business, right? My purpose is to help you get from point A to point C using B. So my purpose using B I have to pour so much value and passion and insights and things that I've had to learn because I love it. I love doing this. I love building these businesses. I love working with you. I love moments like this where I get to share candid things that you might not think. You're never going to see this on YouTube. You're never going to see this on Udemy. You're never going to see these lessons in a business academy. You know why? Because most people focus business and say business is numbers. Business is how do I get somebody to buy something? You can't get people to buy something in mass if you don't love it and if you're not passionate about it first. Do you think Steve Jobs did not love every product that he put out? There was so much passion. Look at this. Even years and years and years and years later, look at this. It's beautiful. So much passion and purpose and focus and love. He intersected what he loved most, which was technology, and what he and what he was absolutely best at, which was technology. And he birthed this, one of the best products to ever hit technology, right? The iPhone. The iPhone created all of the other phones. The iPhone, yes, you had Android and you had Palm Pilot and everything, but nobody was doing what iPhone did before iPhone did it. And Steve Jobs did it by intersecting his love for design and how he was best at technology. That's how he built the iPhone. He found purpose in building technology that solved people's problems. In a way, Steve Jobs had the exact same purpose that I had, taking people from point A to point C using B. His whole concept was you're a rebel. You're a rabble rouser. You're somebody that does things different. You know how he got you to do things different? The iPhone. This was his point B. So he took you from ordinary to extraordinary using the iPhone. So that's what purpose is, right? And why purpose matters is because it makes you more successful at anything. If Steve Jobs did not love iPhones or did not love technology and design, we've all seen crappy phones, right? We've all seen terrible Android phones. They're doing it because they want $1 from you. They're doing it because they want to make money off of it. They're not doing it because they love it. And you see that in the quality. You see that in the consistency. Purpose creates consistency in business. They know that their job is to help you be more efficient in your life. They know their job is to entertain you. They know their job at Apple is to create a device that helps you be so efficient and helps you have access to a world of applications that are applicable to anybody in any lifestyle, doing anything for anybody. And they know that. And so they're incredibly consistent. You might complain about Apple and the fact that the iPhone is always the same, or they just tweaked one tiny little thing. It's all about consistency. They know their job and they just improve on it tiny bit over a tiny bit over a tiny bit. But their purpose is not just applicable. It's in an iPhone. It's also in a MacBook, right? It's in every product they make. It's the intersection of design and technology in Apple and what they're building. And so they have the same purpose. Steve Jobs infused the same purpose in Apple with different applications, right? So you have the same purpose, a different use case on a MacBook, and a different use case on an iPhone. iPhone is all about convenience. It's all about speed. It's all about entertainment. A MacBook isn't really about entertainment. A MacBook is about production, right? What can I produce with this product? What can I create with this product? It's the same purpose, different application, right? So purpose creates consistency. Purpose adds value to what it is you're doing because you love what it is that you're doing. You're more successful when you love something because your customers are attached to or see that passion. You know how many times you guys have come up to me and said, I see the passion that Jonathan has, or, thank you for this passion that you have for us or for this project. And we just see the passion. It's contagious. Imagine if you were this passionate about something in your life. What could you build? Who could you get to rally around you? And at Hustle, we have an army of incredible community. We have an army of people that love the products, love the idea, love the roadmap, love the vision, and love the team. That is incredible. But that isn't just created because I don't love it. Go to an NFT project where all they're doing is a PFP product, right? All they're doing is a profile picture. And they're kind of like, hey, yeah, we're doing this, you don't feel it. You don't love it. You don't have the passion is contagious. And so when you find what you love and what you're best at, you create purpose, or you find your purpose and you create passion. Passion is produced when purpose is put under pressure, right? So this project has been a whole lot of work for me, like a lot of work for me. I probably haven't worked on a company so much in a very long time, since probably the early days of Churchbase. But I love it. I love it so much. And I've never found an industry, a group of people, and a product that I was more passionate about than this right here. So that being said, that's why purpose matters in business, is because it creates consistency. It adds value. It adds value, because when you actually love what you're building, your brain just goes wild with ideas, and you're adding so much more value because you're not doing it for the money. If I was doing this for the money, then I would have ended the founder cards at you get royalties. Congratulations. That is more than, royalties off 5,000 businesses. Show me another NFT project doing that, right? I would have ended the founder cards. I would have said, that's it. Like there's your utility. But I have so much passion and love for it that I'm like, I could do this and I can add this and we can give $1 million back into ad spend, and we could do this and we could add all these other benefits. That's what passion does, is it creates consistency. Every single day, waking up being like, I love this, I'm after it, I'm going to do it, and I'm good at it. That's such a key point, and we're about to dive into that. But that's such a key point of purpose, is it's the intersection of what you love and what you're good at. Because if you love something and you're bad at it, you're not fulfilled in it, because you're disappointed every single time. If you love golf and you suck at golf, eventually you're going to hate it, right? But the cool thing is the more you love something, the better you become at it, because the more you do it, you're like, oh, I love doing this. I'm going to keep doing it. For example, speaking on to this camera, I've been doing it for about, a month and a half now. And it was very new. I've never done something like this before in my life, but I love it. And I feel like I'm getting better at it. I feel like I'm getting better at communicating. When nobody's in the room, I'm so used to like communicating to a group of people that are sitting right in front of me, and it was very different. But it wasn't something that originally I was best at. And so because I loved it, I got better. The difference is though, is if you love something, you have to do it quite a bit to get better at it. But if you love something and you're not good at it, then eventually you're going to stop loving it. And if you don't love something, but you're really, really good at it, eventually you're going to stop doing it. And so the biggest point to take away today is that purpose is that intersection between what you love and what you're best at in the world. So that's a perfect segue. How do I find my purpose? How do I find my direction in the world? Well, that's a fantastic question. You find your purpose by discovering two things. What are you most proud of in the world? What have you done that you absolutely love? And what have you done that you had the best results? Right? So what we're going to do really quickly is we're all going to close our eyes. If you're watching on the other side of the camera, just close your eyes real quick and think for a second. Think, what are two things that I've done in my life that I am really, really proud of? I'm not talking about your marriage. I'm not talking about your children. Those are amazing things to be proud of. But what are two things really quickly that you personally are proud of doing? So I've got my two. I'm really proud of Churchbase and how hard I worked on that. That was my first business, right? So Churchbase was my very first big company, and I'm so proud of the fact that I built it and I got through all the hurdles, and it took me years, and I sold it. I'm really proud of that. And then I asked myself, well, what else am I proud of? I'm really proud of Hustle. Like, I'm so proud of what we've built in Hustle. So then I asked myself, okay, so I'm really proud of those two things. Now hold that thought, okay? The second thing we're going to do is we're going to close our eyes and we're going to say, what have I seen results in? What have I actually seen consistent good results? Well, obviously, I sold Churchbase, so I saw results there. I've seen results in business. I've had a lot of businesses that have been very, very successful, and marketing and things like that. And Hustle's been very successful, in my opinion, and we've seen a lot of results from Hustle. And a lot of my results, in my opinion, when I think results, I think impact, right? I think how much money have I given away? How much how many lives has my ability to generate money touched, right? So I think, okay, well, Apollo, Churchbase, and Hustle, those have been the big, and the water company that I sold, those have been the big contributors of the result that I'm most proud of, right? So the result I'm most proud of is giving. So, and those have been the biggest contributors. So we've thought about what are two things we're proud of and where have we seen the best results in the world or in our lives? Where have we seen the best results in our lives? And then we intersect that. We say, okay, which of those items can I pull out? For example, I'm going to pull out Churchbase because that generated a lot of money for impact. I had a lot of results. I generated a lot of money from that. And I'm really proud of the work that we did. And I'm also going to pull out, let's just say, the water company, right? And I'm really proud of where we got that. That took 2 years to build, and we took it from absolutely nothing. It didn't exist to a multi-million-dollar company in 2 years. And I was really proud of that. And now I'm going to ask myself, so what made me proud and what produced the results? And you're going to begin realizing that it's the exact same thing. Well, what made me proud is the hard work that we put into Churchbase to grow Churchbase, right? And then I think about the water company. I say, what got us results in the water company and Churchbase is the fact that we put so much effort and time into the growth of that company. And I know that might sound like a bigger thing, and I want to isolate it for you and bring it down a second, but do you kind of see the drift and where I'm going here is your purpose is the intersection between what you're most proud of and what you've seen the best results in. Because what you're most proud of is probably what you love to do, because when you're proud of it, you really enjoy it, and what you've seen the best results in. And so if I pull this out, I say, wait a minute, my purpose is growing things, right? And that's exactly what we talked about earlier, is building things and getting you from point A to point C using B, right? So what is B? Because my purpose is to build that thing, right? So it's the exact same thing in Churchbase, the water company, Hustle, is I'm really, really good at starting an organization, starting a business, getting ideas off the ground, right? And growing them and staying consistent. That's what I'm good at, is innovation. I'm good at those things. And also, those are the things that I've seen the most results in my life, is business and growing these companies. Now, you might ask, well, wait a minute, Jonathan, isn't that all you've done? Is the water company, Churchbase, and Hustle and Apollo? Absolutely not. I've failed at Airbnbs. I've failed at other SaaS startups. I've failed at mentoring entrepreneurs. I thought I would create a company to mentor entrepreneurs. That didn't work out. I've failed at creating a nonprofit. I have failed at so many different things because, for example, with the Airbnb, I didn't love it. I absolutely hated it, but I thought it would make me money. And eventually it shut down because I was like, this isn't worth it. It wasn't worth going through the frustration, the frustrating pieces of it and being consistent and growing that business because I didn't love it. And eventually, if you do not love it, you will stop doing it. But if you are good at it and you don't love it, that's what I'm saying. If you're good at it and you don't love it, you'll stop doing it. But if you love it and you're not good at it, then eventually you're never going to see results. So why do it? So all that being said, I want to help you, and we're going to dig deeper into this tomorrow. If you're interested in just kind of talking a little bit deeper into about your business direction or your personal direction in your life, what you're going to do after you find financial freedom, and really finding that purpose and direction in your life that drives you and makes you feel fulfilled, makes you feel full at the end of the day. Because guess what? When I go to sleep, I feel so full. Sure, there's stress, but that doesn't matter. I can deal with the stress. I can deal with the frustration. I can deal with when things don't go my way. I can deal with all of that because I feel full and because I love it and because I see results in it. So I'll end with this, but if you want to find your passion, the best way to find your passion is find 2 things that you are most proud of in your life, and then 2 things that you've had the most results in, and then figure out what was the common thread. And that is how you find your purpose and direction. And that's a really minimized version of this entire concept. Tomorrow at 10 a.m. Central CDT, Joel Scrivener and I will dig deeper into this. Really, he's got some amazing insights into finding your purpose, finding your direction, and in the importance of finding your direction. Remember, purpose creates consistency. When you're doing what you love, you are more successful. It's contagious. Purpose is contagious. Passion is contagious. And purpose adds value to whatever you are building. You do not improve what you do not love. And I'll end with that, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out with me today. I love digging into concepts like this because these are not things that you're going to hear on a traditional business training. But I'll tell you right now, nothing can be successful without purpose and direction. It just cannot. If there's no vision, the people perish. Thank you very much. Have an incredible Tuesday. I will talk to you guys tonight on the Twitter space. We're going to go through where we're at on the Hustle project. We have 2 massive alpha announcements coming tonight, huge announcements for the project, and very excited. So join us tonight on the Twitter space. You're not going to want to miss it if you want to be the very first people to hear where we're going with this project. What is the next phase of Hustle, and what are we doing this and next month to help our founders? Thank you very much. We will talk to you tonight.